our diversities, we politicize our differences, we religionize our issues, and we ethnicize what ordinarily should be something that should not, for obvious advantages of particular individuals. And wherever you mismanage diversity, wherever you religionize, ethnicize, and politicize issues, the consequences of conflict are inevitable. And they will continue to occur so long as we have refused to learn from lessons in other places and from our own context.
Do you think these factors that are responsible for conflicts are deliberate? Do you think that
whether they are deliberate or not,
do you think that there's a segment of society of Nigeria
who
are pushing for this?
It may not necessarily be deliberate, but it could be one issue of ignorance and the tenacious insistence on primitive accumulation of capital through corruption, which results in some people always remaining disadvantaged and some people gaining advantage at all cost. There's naturally going to be conflict. When you want democracy, but you don't want to practice the inconveniences of democracy, then you are bound to have all this of conflict. When you take religion and promote it to a level that it should not be, and assume that this is how it should be, and when you also ignore other people's wishes, when you insist that there must be singularity of thinking among the general popularity, listen, even during the time of the prophets, there was no unanimity of opinion complete, which means democratization gives opinion of differences among people, and those who are leading must take this into cognizance. And so long as corruption remains in this country, all these things will continue to occur because the little resources available, people will use whatever means for them to access it legally or illegally so that they could have advantages. And once they have these advantages, they try to oppress others, and then the others will react. And reaction is what we see as conflict coming in different dimensions. And don't forget, the entire world now is in transition. Energy transition from fossil to green, communication transition from digital, analog to digital. It's also political transition from military or from authoritarianism to democracy. So everything is in transition. And transitions usually come with inconveniences, with sometimes conflicts that must be properly managed. Even as an individual from bachelorhood to maybe becoming a father, sometimes there could be some conflicts. A woman from maybe transiting from being to other side, there could be some level of inconveniences. So how do you manage these conveniences? I mean, these inconveniences. That is why leadership matters. Of course, there will always be difficulties in life, but how do you manage these tensions that individuals come across? Where you fail because of your own individual interest, or you are more concerned with about yourself alone. You only think of your village. If you are in the in some parliament, you think of your town alone. You think of your people alone. You think of yourself alone. Then the others feel marginalized. They feel rejected. So for them, there's nothing to lose. And then the kind of communication you give out, you don't empathize. You now come in a very commanding structure, ordering people. And because of the multiplicity of channels now, the government or public media no longer have monopoly. The conventional media no longer have monopoly of dissemination of information. So there are multiple channels, just like there are so many quacks masquerading as journalists, pretending also to be sending out information, and people believe in them.
In other words, there is body language plays a significant role in all of this.
You see, credibility. Credibility in communication is very, very important. Just like I told you earlier on, credibility means truthfulness, competence, relevance, and dynamism. Who is that person giving you the information? Is it the person that has been taken to court, shown to the whole public that has stolen public resources, now is in leadership, and is the one telling you to behave well? When he has gone to court to get permanent injunction,